I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Yep, you want your boy? Go pick him up. He's over here, on a fucking concrete where I left him.
On an individual level, we have to learn that they are vile.
Not worth calories.
And you're Gen Z and you won't date me.
My email accounts are...
True international effort to pressure.
The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
Gentlemen, welcome. Please find a seat and relax. We have a lot to discuss. Welcome, one and all. I'm KC.
And I am DC.
And we are two goddamn gentlemen bringing to you this week and every week a celebration of all things theft-deterring handcuffs and pseudo-showers.
The best kind of showers. Ask anybody.
Head over to twogoddamngentlemen.com to cast your ballot in the Hall of Gentlemen voting booth, as well as find a link to our Twitter, a link to our YouTube, and a link to our Patreon, which gains you access into our live Discord during all free and bonus episodes, DC. We will have a brand new episode of Podcast We Beat coming this Thursday, live in the Discord at 10 p.m.
I can't wait for that one. We've got a good one coming up. Two of maybe the most strung out college chicks that are not too bad to look at, terrible to listen to. So we're really going to have fun dissecting that, I think.
Leave us
and going through their Instagram.
Oh, that'll be the most fun part. Leave us a voicemail to be heard on the show at 321-POV-FUCK. And don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast feed you use. If it's Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating and a review stating 7 reasons why Harry Vox's show is better than ours.
Yeah, you're already doing that on YouTube, so just move it over to Apple Podcast reviews, and then, you're all set. We know. We're not crazy, we're not smart enough to understand what he's talking about. We get it. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
DC, if you would please, read back the minutes to last week's.
Casey, with the theft-deterring handcuffs, your boy Jeremy Kurck, unbelievably not a gentleman. He was pretending to be one, I guess, but -3 for that guy. And I was going for your Daddy 05 Week 1 record, like all-time minus after 1 week of -15 with Nick Bate. Did not get there. He was not a gentleman. -14. I was so close. So I think I just need to do a little bit better marketing with him. Get his songs out and about with a link to the voting booth and get these votes in, because I think
he could. Does he have a Spotify channel? I mean, you could probably help him set that up.
You know what? I don't think he does. I think he has SoundCloud.
That sounds right. That makes sense.
Oh, wait. No, he's got a tin can in his jail cell because he's in prison for raping his sister. That's right.
That's what it is.
I remember now. That's where he is.
That's what he's got.
So, for right now, neither of our guys are on the top 10, obviously, or the bottom 10, which has become quite the shit fest, I'll be honest with you. KC, it is another 5-week, week 35, episode 35. Let's break out the top 10, bottom 10 of gentlemen this week.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll count them back. I'll say mine. You say yours. We'll start with the top 10 gentlemen on the list. In 10th place, it's Milo Yiannopoulos with a +15. King Henry in 9th with a +16. And then actually no 8th alone. It's actually a tie for 7th between one of mine, Dr. Seuss.
And Don Vito. Rest in peace.
Both at a +18. Donald J. Trump at a +21 is in 6th.
Hey, big comeback. He just went.
That's right. Yeah, he
went
fallen
dark.
down to even.
Just went dark and then just shot right back up. Steven Crowder at +27 in 5th place. Brigham Young in 4th at a +32.
Now you might be thinking to yourself, if you pay attention, Brigham Young in 4th place. Something's different, because Brigham Young and 2 other guys have been staples in the top 3 all by themselves for quite a while. Victor Lustig still top 3, but in 3rd at a +33. Mel Gibson still top 3, but in 2nd at a +36. DC, what's happened?
In 1st place with an unbelievable 48 points. out of nowhere, probably out of the YouTube comment section, is Harry Vox and his
That's
fans
right.
voting his ass up to first place. So I couldn't agree more, and I am happy to have done everybody that service. So thank you to all. Thank you to all for watching and voting him up. Make him the Tommy Tudor of the opposite end, you know?
If we've proven anything so far, it's that Harry Vox is the ultimate gentleman. I don't think there's
think
any
that's
arguing that point.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Now, Casey, let's get to the other side of the gents here with the bottom.
Why don't I start, DC? Because we have 66 total gentlemen. I'll kick it off with number 57 on the list. At a minus 31, Jerry Falwell Jr., formerly Liberty University. Bummer. 58th place at a minus 36 points. It's Daddy 05.
There he is.
He is progressively moving his way down. He was, I think, at a minus 15 like 3 weeks ago. It's going quick. 59th place is Onision at a minus 37.
In 60th place, Russell Greer with minus 43. In 61st is Darkside Phil. We'll get back to Phil with minus 62. In 62nd place is Jonathan Yaniv with minus 72. In 63rd, Joe Biden with a minus 79.
Now we're in the podium. Podium places now.
Now we're in the podium places. The bottom three. In 64th, third runner down is Maddox at a minus 82.
DC, it was a huge week for one of my gentlemen. And in more ways than one, as it turns out, because we have a new addition to the three-figure club in the miscreant side of things, as now second to last at a minus 108, Jake Paul has emerged. Which I think is absurd because he had a great week. He should have been voted up.
Yeah.
He knocked out Fat Ben Askren, who didn't give a fuck.
Is that what happened? I saw something else. And in 66th place, you know him, you hate him, you fucking hate him. It's Tommy Tudor with a minus 310, a new milestone.
He's gone under 300 now.
Oh, Casey, once we get to episode 50, episode 50. As soon as we get to 50 at our year mark, because we're taking 2 weeks off and we're just playing highlights of these fucking idiots. Once we get to 50, we're gonna have to retire fucking Tommy Tudor. We're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, so I think you and I came up with the play that we're gonna do for that with our gentleman retiring, but we'll lay it out as we go because we're not quite there yet. We're only in week 35. You got 17 weeks until our plan will go into action.
They'll sneak up on you.
DC, looking at these top and bottom 10, we were crunching some numbers, doing some analytics last night. We did notice a couple of things. 3 different sets of same episode nominees appear on this list.
One of them, obviously, King Henry VIII and Maddox, episode 3. Maddox got a whole hell of a lot of hate, and it boosted your boy, I think, by default, up to first place for like the first 10 weeks of the show, maybe longer than that. And then Mel Gibson came along and unseated him. But that was one episode. Obviously, the presidents.
Yeah, Trump and Biden 100 points apart right now.
Crazy, right?
What was our third one? Was it
Gibson and Yaniv?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, Gibson Yaniv, and they're 98 points
Gibson
apart.
Darkside. It was Gibson Darkside.
There you go. 98 points between the two of those guys. So yeah, it's quite the discrepancy. Now everyone's been clamoring to know what the rest of it looks like. So we'll show you. There's the rest of it, right there.
The rest.
There's everybody.
Anything stick out?
Well, first off, if you want to see this, you can first off go to patreon.com/2goddamngentlemen and watch the show immediately once you hear it on your podcast app. Or you can wait a week and be cheap and not donate to your favorite podcast pals and just watch it next week. That's fine. Or you can go to our Twitter at 2gentlemenpod because it's going to be posted there when this episode gets released. So you can look at this image as we look at it. What stands out?
O.J. Simpson. Very surprising. +7. I think it's way too low. I think he should be top 10.
Couldn't agree more.
For sure.
Oliver Cromwell was someone that we talked about at one point.
I'm surprised he's not a 0 just from everybody looking at it and being like, who the fuck? And just moving on. But 4 people or maybe 2 people with a very positive opinion of him.
By the way, Death has done John Bullock good. He is really stagnant at minus 19 now. Everybody stopped attacking John.
Yeah, he was one of the biggest fucking weird-ass creeps of all. Especially, like, at the end. Remember all the tape with the writing around every fucking appliance he had? And he just had less and less clothes.
That's right.
The further on. Oh, boy.
By the way, only one nominee currently sitting even, and it's Bernie Madoff. So you could say he's sitting dead even.
You could say that. Wah, wah.
Ted Kennedy at a -1 is also great. Just
right there.
Just below shitty.
There's a lot of just below shitties, a lot of just above shitties. I think those people will probably tend to stay there. So the opposite end, the ones I really think should be in the bottom 10 and aren't, but are getting there, and I think will end up there, Todd Doherty or whatever. I think he ends up there. I think Nick Bate, I think, will end up there.
Daddy 05 will end up further down. I know he barely made it on, but he's going to be...
Oh, yeah. Daddy 05 is bottom 5.
Yeah,
sure.
bottom 5 for sure.
Daddy bottom 5.
I was disappointed Ricky Berwick, by the way, was just off the top 10. He should have been in. Ricky Berwick was hilarious.
Yeah, man. He misses out on everything.
Take what you got and work with it, and that's exactly what that guy's up to.
Yeah. You got to be, like, at least this tall to make the... Oh,
man.
Ah, darn it.
There you go. Go check out that image for yourself to check on the other 46 gentlemen that we didn't cover in the top and bottom 10. DC, what a list.
That's crazy, right? Okay, so first item of business. Thank you for the voicemail. We ended with it last week. Have you ever listened to a podcast in an inappropriate place with somebody who like didn't appreciate it and you got embarrassed?
I don't think so, but I can understand the feeling. I've certainly done that with the music or other stuff.
Oh my God. I had this horrible podcast that I listened to that was loading in my pocket that I didn't know about. It was like buffering. So I just put it in my pocket thinking, okay, we're good. And then I went into like somewhere way inappropriate, like a preschool or a church or something like that. And then they just F-bombs coming out of my pocket. Just bam, bam, bam. I'm like, oh shit, fuck. But apparently Jeremy likes our F-bombs and terrible, horrible things we say when it's with his mother-in-law. So use that to your benefit, I guess.
I actually can give one example of that. My girlfriend and I got in my car last week, and I had been listening to Who Are These Podcasts? Mm-hmm. And they were in the voicemails at the end of the show, and some guy was yelling about being a part of the Iraq Army, and he's just going, Iraq Army! And like that's what played when my car turned on because my phone was still plugged in. It's like, what the fuck is this? I was like, it's over. It's over. I probably should have skipped the voicemails.
Yeah. So if you want to skip the voicemails, you can do that because they'll just always be after the music because we're the bigger people and we don't respond to stupid things like that. At least not immediately. Give us a week to respond to your stupid
Unless Harry wants to come on the show. We love Harry and we'll have him on.
Harry likes to come on everything, especially this weird-ass retarded bitch that he always does his show with, Helen of Destroy.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she's still around.
She's great. I like her.
Yeah. Totally not. Yeah. Well, we're going to add 2 more gentlemen to that crazy list of ours, starting with an update on one of my bottom 10, Darkside Phil.
Yes.
Darkside Phil, Casey, if you didn't know, he had a little bit of trouble this week that he ran into. It happened to him because the gods are kind. Happened to him live while he was streaming this weird anime game, which at the beginning he's reading off what they're saying, but he doesn't commit. So it's so fucking cringy and awful because he's not just reading it like a normal reading voice, but he's also not making it sound interesting or different at all. So I let it go for a long time just for comedic effect. Go ahead and play, and then it happens to him, and it's fantastic.
Try to go over arm and lock your lid out of side. I knew you wouldn't believe me. That's why I kept it a secret and tried to avoid you guys as much as I could. Well, someone who doesn't know how to mind his business kept dragging me places. Are you talking about me? However, I'll say this, I have no intention of killing any of you unless one of you tries to kill me first. Having said that, you probably won't believe me anyway.
I was distracted.
Oh, look at that. There's some kind of a glitch. Only Iced Coffee just realized there's a glitch on Twitch. Everyone's subscriber crowns turned bronze for no reason. What the hell? That's weird. Yeah. The crowns glitched out. Huh.
What's happening?
That's definitely a glitch.
So is it a glitch?
That's not a glitch.
Oh,
Phil lost his Twitch partnership without notice. Chat, patroness, who watches this? Terrible people. Terrible
That's
people
right.
who want to either destroy this man's way inflated ego with no success, or want to watch him honestly and genuinely, and they're awful for that. So just awful people that watch his show and no one else. Casey, have you ever been so shook that you can't think, but then you're still live streaming in front of hundreds of people? Next clip.
Everyone's crowns just turned into the base crown. There must be a glitch with the what do you call them?
With the whatchamafucks it.
With the whoosy but what's it? What's this guy talking about?
Casey, have you ever been so shook that you can't talk, but then you are still live streaming to hundreds of people? Next clip.
There must be a glitch with the levels of sub crowns. Right?
Right?
Apparently, something just happened very bad, is what happened, guys.
Something just happened very bad is what happened. Is
Guys.
what he just said.
Oh, boy. Watch it. Oh, this is a crash and burn live. This is amazing.
Casey, the panic continues for Phil. Next clip.
I don't know what the hell this is. Yeah.
But by the way, I'm sorry to pause in the middle of your video.
No, please.
The caption on the bottom that he would have been reading if this didn't happen actually was a message from Twitch. So you guys mind your business, I'll mind mine, we'll all agree to avoid each other.
Yep. It was so apropos. Also, the music for
Oh,
this
yeah.
video game is like this like stressful fucking like decision. You have to cut which wire. It's ominous as fuck. Thank you, Patronus. Again, saving my ass on this show today.
Twitch cut all the wires.
Yeah. Just Phil would cut all the wires, and then he would say he did nothing wrong. He did it all correct.
I did something at work the other day. I was calling something out at an important moment, and I kind of said it backwards. I was like, DC, do me a favor. Open the show, but first make sure you don't play the intro video. I like completely fucked whoever I was telling what I needed them to do, and they equated it to the wires. They were like, yeah, well, if you don't want to blow up, cut the blue wire after the green one and the red one. It's like, ah, shit.
Damn it.
That's what I did. All right, sorry to interrupt the clip there.
No, go ahead. Keep playing.
Apparently something very, very bad just happened. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It literally just happened this moment.
Yeah, we know, dipshit. This is a live stream. We just watched it happen to you. We know.
We're watching you melt down right now.
Right now. We know. But Phil, are you sure? Next clip.
Yeah. I just got an email from Partnership Removals.
Oh, okay. It's real. Bummer.
Oh, that's a brutal department name.
Partnership Removals. At twitch.com. At
that's
twitch.fuckyou.com.
At Twitch, but not for you.com.
Now, Casey, if my income or a substantial portion of it were suddenly halted without a specific explanation, I'm getting the fuck offline so as not to say something I'll regret later. Next clip.
Notice of indefinite suspension and termination for Darkside Phil. Pursuant to the content license agreement dated that I guess I signed in late 2016.
His lawyer's like, shut up! Yeah, the T's and C's that I specifically remember signing and agreeing completely to. Yes, counsel. No need for discovery and affidavits. I did it. I specifically remember the shirt I was wearing when I clicked yes after reading the whole thing. What a fucking idiot.
I, Darkside Phil, have put myself in this situation? Well, I couldn't agree more, but it stinks. I'm going to have to fight this.
So a viewer throws out there that it might just be a troll fucking with him, and Phil shuts it down as impossible. The uncomfortability Phil is feeling in this next clip is just so palpable. Next clip, please.
Has to be a troll email, someone's fucking with me? I doubt it. Because how is it that I just got this email at 1:28 and now you guys are noticing that all the sub-crowns are changing? Right?
That throat clear. That throat clear is his tell. And it continues. Casey, next clip.
I have no idea what's going on. And there's no explanation. It's just a general notice with no information attached to it at all. Yeah.
It's not all bad, though, Casey. Next clip.
Yes, donations are still working, like tips are still working, it seems.
You know.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Now Phil doesn't have to miss out on all that sweet, sweet cash. Phil further incriminates himself and reveals exactly how much was at stake there. Next clip.
That's completely separate from Twitch, the tip system. Yes, everyone's testing tipping and it's working. Plum Goral tipped $1.30. Test tipped $4.20, and Modapox just tipped $3. That's $8 in tips there.
Ooh. Everyone, 3 people gave you $8 combined.
Everyone was doing it, DC.
And it worked. Everyone was testing the tips, and they worked.
Well, his tip goal at the top of the screen was $15, so he's more than halfway there.
Nailed it. He's totally gonna get there. Let's see here. The panic sets in, and all of a sudden, Phil is a team player. Next clip.
All right, well, what are we going to do? We got to figure this out, right?
We, guys.
Sounds like it's been figured out, Phil.
Right? What are we going to do, right, guys?
Yeah.
Save me. Save me.
Does anyone have an idea that doesn't exist that'll get me out of this?
Hey, Casey, you ever seen, like, when animals do funny like they see themselves in the mirror and they do funny shit?
Yeah.
This is like that, but uglier.
And here's what we'll do. We'll keep streaming. Oh, God.
Can we play that one more time? Just one more time.
And here's what we'll do. We'll keep streaming. Oh, God.
There we go.
You gotta ISO that. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
For moments just such as that. Now, Casey, Phil's in trouble. He's probably not going to get his partnership back because people are speculating that any number of the different violations that he's done for the terms and conditions of Twitch could have been the straw that broke the camel's back, putting his shows on YouTube within 24 hours when you're supposed to give it like a good buffer of a day or two or something like that. I don't know what their specifics are, but he does it quicker than what they say you're supposed to. He bans people. Anyway, he's an awful mess. So I don't think he's going to be coming back to Twitch anytime soon. But now, what the fuck are we going to do about our DSP updates, Casey? Next clip, please.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were asking. You already have an answer.
Obviously, I'm not going to just say, "Oh, I'm gone for good." That's just what happens when things happen on Twitch. They just go right to YouTube. But I have no notice or information about what's going on at all. It's weird because the email that they sent me claims partnership removals, right? But it doesn't say what I did to violate any agreement or anything, which I didn't. I know I didn't violate any agreement.
There you go. Sorry about it, Phil.
Poor Phil. Poor Phil.
I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, man. At the beginning when he didn't know what was going on, he's like,
I heard that laugh. That laugh was awesome. Gotta pull that too.
I'll bet he didn't laugh like that for the rest of that stream. Not once.
All 7 minutes of
Oh, so there we go. As big a DSP update as we can find until he goes to the next platform and gets deplatformed from there.
And we're all looking forward to that.
Yes, we are. Now, Casey,
Yes, sir.
a few days ago, the trial of Derek Chauvin concluded. Verdict was given, and on the night the verdict was going to be read, I just happened to be on YouTube, and Nick Rekieta's show was live, and they were waiting for the verdict. And so it's like, oh, fucking like 4,000 or 5,000 people are watching. This would be a good opportunity to plug the show, Get on there. We did. We were thinking this as we were watching it.
I knew Nick Rekieta was live, of course.
Yeah, and we jumped on and we said, "Hey, if it's a not guilty plea, then Derek Chauvin is going to be the nomination, gentlemen." In my mind, my half of this conversation was thinking that would be a good bet because we thought that it was going to be a not guilty verdict. Because of history, and that's not the verdict we wanted, obviously. But if it was a guilty verdict, then my nomination would be George Floyd. So, KC, without further ado, I decided to bring in Jay-Z. I'm just kidding. It is George Floyd. It is George Floyd. I'm just kidding. Now, George Floyd was born in North Carolina. When he was 2 years old, his parents separated, and his mom moved him and I believe he had 4 other siblings, to Texas, Houston, Texas. And he grew up in Houston, Texas, was a fantastic athlete. Dude was super tall. He measured out at 6'6", and played basketball for his middle school and high school, and then football, where he actually got a partial scholarship to an in-state college, and he played 2 years there, transferred to one other I think it was like Houston A&M or something like that. And then just kind of fizzled out, moved back home. This was about 1995. On his Wikipedia page, I thought this was really, really interesting. Really kind of funny. He has, early life and education. It's a staple to all biographies on Wikipedia. And it said... this was the first paragraph. I want you to see if you can find anything funny with this. Floyd was born on October 14th, 1973 in Fayetteville, North Carolina to George Perry and Larsenia Sissy Jones Floyd. He had 4 siblings. His great-great-grandfather, Hilary Thomas Stewart Sr., was born as a slave but acquired his freedom in the Civil War. Casey, next image for me, if you will. I thought this was kind of a good representation of his great-great-grandfather. There we go. Acquired his freedom from the Civil War while Stewart was in his 20s. He acquired 500 acres of land. But Casey, next image, please. He lost it to white farmers who used legally questionable maneuvers that were common at that time in the South. So totally got hosed, which is a huge shame and is indicative of the reason why George may have or may not have had some of the opportunities of other people, which obviously you have to keep in mind. I'm going to try to keep this short. I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes. But he, as we all know, a gentleman is prolific. He had 8 jail terms between 1997 and 2005, which were mostly minor theft crimes, possession crimes. He got caught for having cocaine 3 or 4 times, all less than an ounce, nothing ever really that crazy. What you'd expect of, sweeping through the projects where he was kind of living, growing up at the time to have. But the funniest one, I think, his funniest conviction was the one in 2007. George dressed up like a water department worker and knocked on this lady's door, knocked on this house, and they opened the door, and then he held the door open, and 5 other guys drove up, and they all went inside the house. And then it said, like in the report, it said that George held a gun to this woman's stomach while they all looked for stuff to steal in the house. They said, "Give us the drugs and the money," and they're like, "Oh, there's no drugs in this house," and they're like, "Okay." George told like 2 or 3 of the guys, like, you watch her and him. I'm going to go look for stuff to take, right? And he goes off and steal whatever. It's rumored that this lady may have been pregnant. However, Snopes says that there has never been any actual evidence to show that she was pregnant. But I'm pretty sure her last name was like Hernandez, so she's probably pregnant. She was probably pregnant when this happened. I'm just saying, it's probably a good guess that she was. And why would you hold a gun to somebody's stomach when you're like holding them up, you know? Like, you hold it to their head. You're like, no, get back. Or you're
you're
pointing
John
it
Wayne.
at their stomach. You put it in their back, like between their shoulder blades. Walk, pilgrim. You know, whatever you got to do. But holding it to the stomach, that's kind of ruthless and funny at the same time. It's like, all right, the baby gets it. If anybody moves, the baby gets it. You know, could you imagine? Could you imagine even saying something like that? So after that, 3 months later, a neighbor wrote down the license plate of the car that rolled up and gave it to the police. So 3 months later, they finally found this tag, and the driver is George Floyd. So they bring him in, and he ends up getting fingered by a 7-year-old boy, which is like living the dream of a quarter of my gentleman. But he gets pointed out by this kid as one of the...
What a cliffhanger that was for 20 seconds.
Thank you. As one of the people that was, involved. And he went to jail for 5 years for that, 4 or 5 years. After he got out, he avoided trouble. That was like the end of his rap sheet. He got really super involved with the church and became a responsible drug user like the rest of us, which is commendable. And, well, until 2020, because he did have, he was a big guy, remember. He was like 6'6". But I looked because I wanted to see how like out of proportion this like fentanyl, whatever, in his system was. Like, okay, did he have like a little bit? Did he have like, what is this? Like maybe he had an opium addiction that he's getting off of because they prescribed it to him for a sports injury. That happens, not uncommon at all. Mm-hmm. That fentanyl is the newest line of substitutes. So how much was in his system? They say that the amount in your blood to be able to kill you is 9.8 something or 9.9 nanograms per milliliter in the system. That's the average death amount. He had 11 at the time. Now he's a big guy. That's a lot in his system. Threw a monkey wrench into this whole thing, and that's what you hate to see, because everybody hates the cops. Everybody could have got behind that. I'm white as the driven snow. I have a Scottish coat of arms. Yeah, the coat of arms I have tattooed on my arm. I'm as white as it comes. Hate cops. Got behind it the whole time. Everybody's just afraid of that one day that a cop's just going to go nuts and pull the gun. Have you ever had a cop pull a gun on you in any situation?
I've had times where a cop should have pulled a gun on me.
Okay,
when I got out of the car at a traffic stop that I should not have gotten out of the car for.
Yeah, you should have got a gun pulled on you in Boston. You probably should have taken one.
That too! Boston too! I forgot about that one. Yeah, that too.
Jaywalker! Bam, bam, bam. Just right in the back of the knee. I one time had a walk around because I was the overnight manager at a retail place that had like an outdoor chain fence that you had to go and like make sure it was secure. So going around with the regional ops manager, we're shaking the fucking fence around at like 2:30 in the morning, and we open one to check the emergency alarms, and 6 cops are already there, like sitting there, all with their guns pulled on us. I'm like, whoa, whoa. Like, I had the attire of the place on. Mm-hmm. Like, my name is, like, clearly there. I'm like, I'm not, like, this isn't a heist. Like, if I was, and what kind of robbers are just going around shaking the shit out of the metal fences while they're doing their crimes? Anyway, cops are idiots, is my point. Everybody's against them, okay?
I like to imagine that those 6 cops were sitting there because they got like a tip that someone dangerous was like in the area, but you working in the store not notified. Just go walk around the parking lot, check the fence. It's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing going on out there except 6 cops waiting to find the rapist murderer who's actually been known to be in the parking lot on Tuesday nights. But yeah, it's fine. Go out there.
But whatever. It's cool. Don't worry about it. And Casey, I forgot to mention, I think that time he did was a bad rap anyway, because it shouldn't have held up in court. The 7-year-old didn't really identify him. This is what the kid pointed to. Next image, please. Volume 3, Life and Times of Sean Carter. He pointed that's the guy. That's who did it. They could be brothers. They are so close. I thought that was so funny. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't notice that similarity before, but I guess it's there.
They look identical. It's awesome. I love it. Now, after the incident where George Floyd was murdered by Derek Chauvin and manslaughtered, it turns out, a bunch of supporters and activists took over that area. They claimed it as their own. 38th and Chicago is the intersection. And it's an autonomous zone. No cops are allowed. And they have basically, the city has agreed, okay, we're just going to barricade you off so that traffic doesn't run you over and cause that whole issue,
We've all seen that video.
We learned from our mistakes. So we're going to barricade you. That's fine. You'll go home in a day or two. Still haven't left. Okay, see, they still haven't left. They're still there. The barricades are still up. And they've issued, they issued a list of demands, as they called it, 24 things that need to happen. This was written to the city of Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota, and to the United States itself to fix these things, and then they would go home. And if they, or I don't know what they said they would do, they would just give the street back. We all know they don't have homes.
Is rubbernecking on there? I am sick of traffic on one side of the highway for an accident on the other. I bet that's on there.
No, they didn't care about that at all.
Oh,
Turns out they all rode bikes or skateboards. All of them. So not a car amongst them. A few defaulted car loans between them. Turns out, but no cars. No.
Where'd you find that? Where'd you research that?
100% of people in the autonomous zone are homeless people with no cars. I just made that up. That's libel and slander. So, the best rule, at least in my opinion, of the 24 rules, the best rule that they have on there is the 15th rule, because it's just so see-through. All right, let me see here if I can find it. Number 15, include a rent-to-own option in new housing construction for renters. Just that generic, just for everybody. Include a rent-to-own option in new housing construction for renters. Who is that aimed at? Who?
Not the landlord.
Who's getting that done?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Everybody does that. It's fine.
So a gentleman, obviously, and he's done more for the civil rights movement than anyone since Martin Luther King, at least as a figure, obviously. But he's improved everybody's life in some sort of aspect if you can think about it. In my life, this guy was 6'6", 223 pounds. I'm only 6'2", and I'm 223 pounds. I'm fat as fuck. I need to get in shape, and the inspiration for that is George Floyd to me. So he is a gentleman today, forever. And if you would for me, please, next image. I think the next one should just be, George Floyd, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, Jesus Christ, DC.
I think that went well.
That went as well as it could have, I think.
I honestly think that's true. That could have really gone real bad.
Well,
I'm not playing.
Well, it hasn't been released
Jess
yet.
I am not playing his porn scenes. Thank you for your input, but we are only watching them on our own. We're not putting them out for everybody to see. Thank you.
Well, there you go, DC. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you had one more thing you wanted to show.
Yes, I did. My honoraries, actually. Casey, not only did George Floyd affect my life and will continue to affect my life until I get back down to 195, but he's affected the lives of journalists in their headline choices, which I found pretty great. Here we go. Articles that George Floyd has influenced. In Florida, a Holocaust museum's George Floyd exhibit spurs debate about its mission. What do you think about that?
A Holocaust museum has a George Floyd exhibit?
Yeah, it's spurring debate about its mission.
I would understand why.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's moving in on their racket.
Yeah, there's been a lot of travesties, but they don't all go like. I don't think like at the tsunami memorial they have like the 9/11.
Casey,
names.
are you saying all travesties matter? Is that what you're saying right now? I don't think you want to say that right now.
I guess
They
that's what I
clearly
was
do
saying.
not.
Shit.
All travesties are not the same. I dropped a Pop-Tart this morning in front of my son who wanted to eat it.
What's 6
Not the
million in
same.
one people, right?
Yeah,
Get
I
him in
mean,
there.
it's all perspective. To Russia, not that many. To Russia, not that many. Oh, boy. All right, Casey, so that was the first headline. The second one, Virginia chemistry teacher suspended after making a George Floyd pun on a chemistry quiz. What do you think of that?
I want to know what the pun is. That's for
I've got
sure.
it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Quote, George Floyd couldn't breathe because a police officer put his blank George's neck.
What?
George Floyd couldn't breathe because a police officer put his blank George's neck. The correct answer is neon. The police officer put his knee on George's neck.
It wasn't a pun? Did you say pun?
Yeah, it's a pun. It's a chemistry pun. Neon, a chemical element.
Oh, neon. Right, I'm not reading it. I was like, no, he did put his knee on. What does the neon have to do with it? It's a terrible pun. A pun is supposed to be funny both ways. It has nothing to do with chemistry. What the fuck? That's so stupid.
It's a chemical
What
element.
a stupid...
Neon's a chemical element.
I get that, but it makes no sense to say it. That guy should get fired.
Oh yeah,
for
no,
bad
definitely keep that
puns.
to yourself.
Fuck the George
Yeah,
Floyd
definitely.
aspect of it. They're like, fire that guy for being terrible anyway.
Next headline. Should the U.S. government make the Catholic Church canonize George Floyd? I say yes. Immediately, actually. I think that sets a great precedent. I think we make them canonize George Floyd, and then we go from there. Then we see what's what.
Yeah, why not? Fine.
Then Kamala Harris.
I think at a certain point you're going to get somewhat similar to like the Basketball Hall of Fame, where just kind of everybody gets in. But
Well, except the Asians. But,
you
their
know
hashtag is coming.
We're
It's coming up.
we're supposed to be more inclusive, so everybody can be a saint.
Everybody can be basketball. All right. Next headline, Casey. LAPD investigating You Take My Breath Away. George Floyd themed Valentine's photo.
Jesus, who's making these decisions? Like,
Oh,
how do you do that and go, good idea?
No, how do you? Okay, so if you're on the left, like far left, like if you are participating in the Democratic Socialists of America, for instance,
they're a treat.
Yeah. What do you feel about the following headline? 150 Minneapolis cops file disability claims for PTSD, which they attribute to the George Floyd protests.
I think that would be met with reason and debate.
With objectivity and sympathy?
That's right.
I think it would be met with jeers and
You think?
disbelief. Disbelief. I think is what it would be met with, and rightfully so. Holy cow. Okay. And last one. This was my favorite one. Miss Swimsuit UK stripped of her title after she posted All Lives Matter in Facebook post and questioned whether George Floyd was innocent. What are you talking about? Whether he was innocent or not?
He was
No,
He was-
okay. He wasn't, but that's not the point. That's not the. Oh my god, he's totally innocent. They shouldn't have killed him. It was innocent. They didn't kill him because he wasn't innocent.
Yeah.
Killed him because he was very big and he didn't know how to keep him down, and he did the wrong thing, and for much too long.
Yeah, he did the wrong thing for a
hothead
long
moron.
time.
Because he's a moron. He's an idiot.
Yep.
And he killed a gentleman, in my opinion, and I won't stand for it. So Derek Chauvin can go Epstein himself, as far as I'm concerned.
There you go. Well summed up.
Thanks, Casey. Now, after I had finished all of this, unfortunately, as I tend to do, sometimes I run across more than, and I don't have time to put it in, but I did want to get one more thing in because I read another headline about an Australian YouTuber who's in hot water because of his poor attempt at comedy, his own poor attempt at comedy on Omegle. Are you familiar with that? It's like chat roulette.
Yep.
He went on Omegle and was completely in blackface, and then when shocked people were in front of him, he would say, "Yes, Catboy Cammy, thank you, Jess LeBlanc in chat. Yes, Catboy Cammy." And I took a still frame. Yeah, he's based as fuck. I took a still frame of him with what looks to be like maybe a 10-year-old, 11-year-old boy. If you could show that image for me. There it is. It's just
that kid's face is exactly the level
shock.
of shock it should be at.
Exactly
like,
at the
what
level.
What the fuck is going on here?
And you would understand much more why this guy can never be brought in for any reason other than maybe at the I wouldn't replace the Nick Bate video of him jerking it with poop to this guy on Omegle, because I said I wouldn't click this button. It's not on me. It's not on us anymore. It's not on us, Casey, if they click that button. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Anywho.
The kid's face is great.
Hey, to a better world.
Cheers to that. Oh, DC. Is that it?
That's it for me. I'm going to get drunk.
There you go. All right. I have one honorary this week before we launch into my gentleman. Now, DC, airports can be frustrating.
Oh, yes.
They can be downright infuriating at times.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep your calm under. Have you had a horrific airport experience, like a really bad one?
Yeah. Okay. So at DIA, Denver International, they have a reputation for being like a little bit too much at the TSA level going through security. So they're like quick to grab somebody and give them the pat down. They take people in rooms and make them leave, make them miss their flights, that kind of stuff. And they have a reputation for being like gropey, like real gropey, right? And so I'm coming up and I'm going through the line and I've got all my stuff on the line. I go through the x-ray and it doesn't go off on me or anything. So I get my stuff and I get to leave. I didn't even get groped. It was awful. Like I totally thought I was going to get raped and I didn't at all. I just went right through.
Oh, that's great.
I put on cologne and deodorant and everything for nothing. I had a one-way ticket, but I changed it to have a layover in Denver, hoping that this would happen, and it didn't. I was heartbroken.
Oh no, I forgot something on the other side of security. I have to go back through, right?
Oh, good. You didn't find my knife. Guess where?
Where is it? I don't know.
That's the fun.
All right, well, you clearly you kept your cool in that situation. You were upset, but you were okay afterward. Mm-hmm. And here we have my honorary gentleman. He's gonna, I forget his name. Doesn't matter. I think she says it at some point. He's gonna take you how to handle these types of airport experiences.
Okay, who's the one who keeps screaming and swearing? Okay. Step back, sir, right now. No. Step back now. Okay, I'm going to tell you one time that is not appropriate and it's not acceptable.
Then
okay?
be professional.
Okay.
Be professional.
All right, there he is.
What a weasel.
Oh, yes.
Who is he looking at? It's like Steve Buscemi and Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, he goes all over the place with where he's looking, DC. But first off, I want to say that if this were a Ladies of the Night episode, she would not be nominated. Not a lady.
No.
And we'll get further into that. And DC, as we go into clip 2, you can actually really understand his frustration.
Not
4
acceptable.
o'clock, I've been here.
Okay.
Don't tell me the guy behind me is more important than me. Please don't tell me that.
I'm not telling you anything, sir. What I'm telling you is...
Oh, well, you can't do both.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you anything,
that, sir. What
I am telling you.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Classic.
So she reads him the riot act. You cannot talk to the people behind the counter this way. You cannot raise your voice like that. If you raise your voice, this conversation will be over. I would like you to go have a seat, and I'm going to work on this, and I will come talk to you when you are calm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So she goes and starts working on some stuff, and she goes to talk to him, and he has a simple request.
I want to know, when I was here at 4 o'clock, why I'm not on an airplane. You tell me.
Okay. My understanding is you think that you should take priority over the other people
Since I've
that are
been here
here.
at 4 o'clock,
Okay.
yes, I do.
Sir, everybody was delayed today because of the weather. You are not...
What weather?
Okay.
Do you see any storm?
Now, he's upset, so she's going to do the thing that women do here, and then he's going to do the thing that men do here.
If you keep shouting at me, sir, our conversation's going to be over. I'm not raising my voice
Do you
to
see
you.
a storm?
He quiets it down, but keeps asking the question. Attaboy.
Yeah.
He hangs in there.
I thought she was going to clap. I thought she was going to clap on every one of her syllables.
If
you don't understand. Oh, my God.
She takes him to task a little bit more. It's pretty unbearable. We skip some of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to sit down, relax. Finally, we have an update on the flight that he's trying to get on.
Okay, folks, flight 1273 to St. Louis is now full. Once again, if you were trying to go on flight 1273, service to St. Louis, that flight is now full.
All right. He's going to handle this fine.
It looked like it.
Yeah. This next clip will bring up, you mentioned PTSD, maybe on an even worse level. For anyone who's dealt with customer service, this is the worst part, is when you have been dealing with person A for X amount of time, and they have not solved it, so they're going to send you back to square one with person B.
You're going to have to go to B18 if you'd like to try to get on that list.
Try.
You're going to try to get on that flight. Yes, sir.
Try. Yes, sir.
Hate that shit. Now, she tries, they get a little heated again, and she tries a similar tactic, expecting a different result. She doesn't get it.
Your demeanor is the same at that gate. I will deny you boarding. There is no reason for you to treat the employees that way. You cannot behave at the next gate the way that you have just behaved.
But you have the right to do this to me?
Sir, I'm sorry.
In a flight?
Sir, I'm sorry you're frustrated, and I'm sorry that the weather has inconvenienced so many people.
You can't mention the weather.
You can't mention the weather with this guy. He doesn't believe in weather.
What weather?
What weather?
So, the good news, DC, is that he was able to get on the next flight. That's great news. The bad news is that she showed up at the gate.
Even after my conversation with him, he's come down to the next gate and actually done the same thing to the ladies at the gate here. So I really think that it's best that he not travel tonight.
Oh, he actually did get on?
She shows up on the plane.
I need you to step off the aircraft, sir. Sure. I need you to step off the aircraft, sir. Because I need you to step off the aircraft.
You have a reason?
Yes, I do.
I don't like you.
Excuse me.
The
Sir, your
reasons
ticket has
are...
been refunded. Your behavior continued at the next gate, and there was no reason for it. I can't allow you to
home.
I understand that, sir. So
You
does everyone
understand
else.
nothing.
Sir, I've refunded your ticket. I've refunded your ticket, sir. I'm sorry. You will not travel with us tonight. You cannot treat the employees
Treat
that way.
who?
Sir,
Who
your
is
ticket
the
has
camera
been
person?
I'm on this plane.
Sir,
following this guy around?
You're being a jerk about this.
I'm denying you boarding,
it's,
sir. Your behavior
A&E
at those two
covering the
gates was
airport.
not acceptable. I cannot allow you to travel. I'm sorry. You will not travel tonight. I'm sorry.
So like a gentleman, he leaves, and you would think that's it. But no, this camera crew, you were asking, they do catch up with our honorary gentleman at the end.
I'm very unhappy. I mean, I was here at 4 o'clock to get my flight to go home, and now I'm being rejected because, you know what? I stood up for my rights. That's all I did.
That's all he did.
That's all he did. What he didn't understand was that he already had all the rights.
Oh, yeah,
he was born. He was born with all of them. So he just needed to give some of his rights to the white women to divvy out to who she sees fit, and that's how it's working now. That's the pecking order. White women run the world. Congratulations, you did it. You finally did it. Enjoy your cats. All of them. All 10 of them enjoy.
And they will enjoy you at the end. DC, it's nomination time for me. Now,
yes.
We gave a brief update kind of in the middle of the show. Luckily, you had remembered it, but we didn't really do it justice. I featured Bernie Madoff on this podcast on April 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie died on April 14th. So that was 10 days in between. Mm-hmm. Now, this episode releases on April 25th. So, if I do some math, 10 days ahead, that would be Cinco de Mayo.
Hey.
DC, it's going to be a party.
Ladies and gentlemen, Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
All right.
Look out on May 5th, Harvey, because you are being nominated, my friend. An American film producer. He belongs on our gentleman list, does he not?
He
Co-founder.
Certainly does.
Co-founder of Miramax with his brother Bob.
Yep.
Produced some huge movies with a focused and yet sometimes overbearing attitude. Those movies included, and DC, I just want to do this just to ruin some stuff for everybody. Pulp Fiction, Scream, Air Bud, Good Will Hunting, Rounders, Shakespeare in Love, She's All That, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Spy Kids, all the Lord of the Rings movies, Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained, basically Tarantino, Silver Linings Playbook, Project Runway, and my favorite that I found, Feast 2, Sloppy Seconds.
Oh, great.
That's a zombie movie, apparently. He was active in many different ways. He was active in the fashion industry outside of just Project Runway. He was active in the community world as well on issues such as poverty, AIDS, juvenile diabetes, and multiple sclerosis research. In October of 2017, he served on the board of the Robin Hood Foundation, a New York City-based nonprofit that targets poverty, and he co-chaired its annual benefits. I'm not sure why he left in 2017, but he did. Longtime supporter and contributor of the Democratic Party, including the campaigns of Barack Obama and John Kerry, also Hillary Clinton in 2008. And he hosted a fundraiser for President Obama in 2012. So, an active guy, and if you are just hearing about Harvey for the first time now, I honestly recommend get some sleep, turn the podcast off, and go to bed knowing that this was a talented movie guy who was politically active and slightly aggressive.
Yes.
But alas, DC, he was accused in 2017 of some things.
Mm-hmm.
Some things, sexual assault, and the like. We'll get into it. Lots of women came forward. Lots and lots of them. New York Times had it first. The story accusing Weinstein of 3 decades of sexually harassing women and paying 8 settlements to actresses and female production assistants, temps, other employees.
Yeah, everybody knew. Everybody in the industry knew.
That's right. We'll get into that too. Since the initial report, over 80 women have accused Weinstein of sexual harassment, assault, or rape. It's a big number.
Or rape.
The victims
He was a gentleman, only 2 fingers. It was very pleasant, but I didn't want it.
Tommy,
so
you write this stuff
it
down?
wasn't pleasant.
It's important. A low battery warning. That's not great. Let me make sure my...
So one time, Harvey Weinstein won an Academy Award for Shakespeare in Love, I think, over Saving Private Ryan. If somebody can verify that for me, I think that's true.
He did. Yeah, he did win for Shakespeare in Love. Absolutely.
Yeah. And he got up to accept his award. He had the hugest Coke booger in his nose the whole time. So he was doing well.
That's right. The victims released a list of over 100 allegations of alleged instances of what we talked about. According to the reports, it was common that he would invite young actresses or models into a hotel room or an office on the pretext of career advancement, and then inquire about massages or beyond. He told them complying with his demands would help their careers. That part was true. And repeatedly used Gwyneth Paltrow as an example, although she didn't actually sleep with him at any point. He had a lot of support around him.
Brad Pitt would have killed him, apparently.
Yeah, not anybody else. Brad was fine with everybody else going to work for Harvey, but Gwyneth, protect Gwyneth.
Stay away.
That's right. Come on, Brad. There are more people to look out for here.
Yeah.
All right, so DC, the list of things that he did are all over the map. And I'm going to run through some of them here. And obviously, everybody knows what this guy has gone through. I mean, we were talking about Daddy 05 earlier. If Daddy 05's here, Harvey's here too. So let's jump through some things here, because some of this stuff ends in the worst way possible. I mean, we'll see things about forced rape, right? All kinds of terrible things that Harvey did. But then there's other stuff that he didn't get what he wanted, and then he looks silly, and it's a balance here. So starting in the 70s, there were tons of accounts from London of things happening. There was another instance where he directed a girl to his hotel room. She found him in a bathrobe, and he asked her for a massage. She refused, and says that he grabbed her hand and pulled it toward his crotch, but didn't quite get it there. So, what was the
didn't
plan?
Count.
What was the plan there, Harvey? We have things all over New York, Beverly Hills. The years are all over the place. DC, November 2010, September 1995. That one actually interesting. Harassment in a hotel room in 95. Quote, "He started massaging my shoulders, which made me very uncomfortable. Then tried to get more physical, which I refused. So he sort of chased me around." You didn't get that.
Like the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean ride. He just chased me around the hotel room.
That's right. By the way, I'm only going to read the full answer on the ones that don't end in rape, because there's a bunch of those that do. The actress says Weinstein asked her to go to his hotel room under the guise of a business meeting, but appeared in a bathrobe. That was one of the moves. Appeared in a bathrobe and asked if he could give her a massage or if she'd watch him shower. DC, give me one context under which you want a woman to watch you shower.
None.
That's the right answer. What is Harvey up to here?
Yeah.
Like,
because he's so disgusting. Like, I'm gross naked. You're gross naked, I'm sure. He has got to be way worse than both of us combined. Look at that sack of gross.
100% true.
Ugh.
That's 100% true.
So he was into like shaming women. So he's like, look at this. And then he watches their face. You know, he like cucks himself.
Oh yeah. Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. Look how fat I am. He had threats involved in a lot of these DC. I will kill you. You know I can. That kind of stuff. This is one of the victim accounts. Quote, "We were talking on the sofa when he suddenly jumped on me and tried to kiss me. I had to defend myself. He's big and fat, so I had to be pretty forceful."
That's funny. That was anonymous?
That was an anonymous one, yep.
Ah, damn it.
Yep. The only one I want to talk about, because, I mean, the only rape case that we're going to mention here, and I'm not going to put any names to any of these, even though you could go find them yourself if you wanted to. Talk about, like, the worst night ever. This poor girl gets sexually assaulted by Harvey Weinstein and remembers when it happened, because it was in 2000 during a presidential debate. So George Bush was talking while all this was happening, too.
Man. No, but Al Gore was talking, too.
That's true. Like, it's just...
Oh, man.
That's a horrible, horrible way to have that happen. Finally, before long, there's a different one. I bolted into the bathroom. He banged on the door for a while, with his fists before eventually retreating, putting on a dressing gown, and beginning to cry.
Oh, boy.
Harvey.
Oh, wait, she got into a dressing gown and started to cry.
No, he did.
Oh, okay, good. That's what I thought it was at first.
Yeah, Harvey got it.
But it was appropriate
just
for
bring in
either
the girl
one.
crying. That wouldn't be nice.
Yeah, it was appropriate for either one.
That's accurate. That's 100% true. All right, so moving on. In response to the New York Times report in 2017, Harvey said, quote, "I appreciate the way I've behaved with colleagues in the past caused a lot of pain, and I sincerely apologize for it," end quote. He said it was due to a sabbatical that he was working with therapists is why he was taking the sabbatical, because he was dealing with the issues in his head on. And after consulting with his lawyer described him as an old dinosaur learning new ways. That's a nice way to put that.
Yeah, that's real nice.
And then after the initial statement, which was very vaguely not admitting anything, I appreciate that the way I've behaved around people has been painful. I can say I could say that. I've never raped anybody. I've been just annoying to be around. I've been painful to be around, but I don't think they're the same. After he gets a better lawyer at DC, that kind of turns around as this statement comes out. Mm-hmm. Any allegations of non-consensual sex are unequivocally denied by Mr. Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein has further confirmed that there were never any acts of retaliation against any women for refusing his advances. Mr. Weinstein has begun counseling, has listened to the community, and is pursuing a better path. Mr. Weinstein is hoping...
Yeah, but he didn't do anything wrong.
That's right. He's hoping that if he makes enough progress, he will be given a second chance. I don't want to break all the suspense, but it doesn't happen.
Man, a gentleman is always indicted.
Well, we're going to come back to that, DC. Don't you worry. A gentleman, I know what a gentleman always is. Here is a short story about things you shouldn't do. Now, we've already begun that, but this is a different instance. When accused of these things, if innocent, defend yourself vehemently, of course, right? Mm-hmm. At all costs. At all costs. If guilty, probably... Maybe you don't really have enough care for the people around you to worry about the collateral damage that may be caused by defending yourself vehemently, even if guilty. But that probably should have been looked at here. On January 30th, 2018, Weinstein's attorney released private emails from Ben Affleck and Joe Messick, Rose McGowan's former manager, that both contradicted Rose's story of what she claimed happened between her and Weinstein. So Ben Affleck's emails come out. Joe Messick, this manager's emails come out. 8 days later, Joe committed suicide. So, vehemently defending your obvious guilt may cause problems. Yes. Now saying things that don't apply, DC, so we had a vague admission of guilt earlier. In March 2018, Weinstein's lawyer Benjamin Brafman said in an interview with The Times in the UK, quote, "The casting couch in Hollywood was not invented by Harvey Weinstein. If a woman decides that she needs to have sex with a Hollywood producer to advance her career and actually does it and finds the whole thing offensive, that's not rape," end quote. True, not applicable. Because not what happened.
Yeah. But that is true. You could be presented with a choice. The choice might not be fair. You might be able to, have some leverage there, but the choice is still there. You can make the choice. You can be an adult.
Yeah, and in some cases, I'm sure that choice has been made many times. Not this one. On February 24th, 2020, the jury finds Weinstein guilty of rape in the third degree and a criminal act in the first degree, but not guilty on 3 counts, including 2 or more serious charges of predatory sexual assault. And I only included the part that he was not guilty on some crimes because DC, even on a technicality, a gentleman is always what?
Always acquitted.
April 12, 2021, Weinstein formally indicted on 11 counts of sexual assault in Los Angeles County. This was only a procedural matter, allowing the trial to proceed more quickly. He's also been going through extradition stuff for being moved out of New York and over to California. Hasn't happened yet. After the verdict, Weinstein was remanded into jail at Rikers Island, which if you've ever watched Law & Order of any kind, Rikers Island just sounds like the worst thing. That's where they always send them. Rikers Island Infirmary until Justice James A. Burke sentenced him to 23 years in prison in March. He was 67 at the time.
Okay.
Now, DC, what do you remember about the time that this happened? What did this cause?
The Me Too movement.
That's right. Overwhelming time
Something we all love.
In our history. We said goodbye to Kevin Spacey, Brett Ratner. Somehow Louis C.K. got lumped into that.
But even worse, we said hello to Amy Schumer.
Oh, God, more of her. Time magazine dubbed the silence breakers behind the Me Too movement the Time Person of the Year in 2017. Just continuing to shit all over that award. I'm pretty sure a horse was the Person of the Year at one point. Yep. Which is fucking ridiculous. Now let's talk about some enablers, DC. Okay. I'll give one example. We mentioned Rose McGowan earlier. Rose McGowan wrote on Twitter that she told the Amazon studio head Roy Price that Weinstein had raped her, but Price ignored this and continued to collaborate with him. Price later resigned from his post following sexual harassment allegations against him. Not that surprising. Other people who knew what was going on and did less than they should have. Ben Affleck, Colin Firth, Lena Dunham, Susan Sarandon, Brett Ratner, Quentin Tarantino, and just as a side note, Lena Dunham was...
super hot, right?
Oh, jeez, God. Lena Dunham helping out. She was advising the Clinton campaign to distance themselves from Weinstein before the story broke. Because she knew about it beforehand.
Yeah. Too bad she didn't say distance yourself from me because I used to molest my little sister for fun. And then I wrote about it in a book, bragging about it.
Lena Dunham's fucking filthy. Closing out, DC, March 2020, while incarcerated in Wend Correctional Facility in the Western New York region during the COVID-19 pandemic, Weinstein tested positive for the coronavirus. He reportedly did not show symptoms of the disease, but he was placed in isolation on April 1st, 2020. Now, stayed in isolation for a little while. Then November 17th, 2020, Weinstein placed in isolation after showing suspected COVID symptoms. 2 days later, it was reported that he did not actually have COVID, but that his health was declining that fast.
Yeah, he just has shortness of breath because he's super fat.
That's right. So, May 5th, all eyes on you.
Yes. Here we go. Going
DC.
Down. If he dies on May 5th, dude, this podcast is over. That's some bad omen.
I can't nominate any living people after that.
Yeah, that'd be true.
There you go, DC. That's my nomination this week. Harvey will have a very bad first week in the voting booth, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be great. And Fentanyl Floyd is going to go right to the top. I think he's going to overtake Harry Vox, just out of sheer fear of what will happen if he's not.
That's probably true. DC, tell everybody where they can find all of the things.
Go to www.twogoddamngentlemen.com. There you'll find the link to the Patreon, the link to the voicemail, the voting booth, and every episode, both audio and video. Tell your friends. Thanks for being here.
DC, we definitely brought one gentleman tonight, but the search must continue.
That's what you get for talking all that shit, you fucking asshole.
Wolves aren't gay, USA. Wolves aren't gay, USA.
So there you go. Isn't that a great story, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.
Meeting adjourned.